Oh, a little amuse-bouche of the moments that our panel thought brought some tidings of comfort and joy to this political year. Now, in our last segment, our panel of Grinches handed out some coal. But during the commercial break, their hearts grew 3 sizes. So now they're ready to give out some gifts, everybody. So let's lean into that holiday spirit and bring back our jolly bunch of elves. Sabrina Grover, Melanie Paradis, Carl Boulanger, and Rachel Aiello. Sabrina, who gets your gift of the year?
I just want to say that really warmed my growing heart. I feel so ready for holidays now.
Right?
I think it would be, a missed opportunity this year and over the last 5 to not recognize Ambassador Hillman. I think that not only was she Canada's first female ambassador to the United States, taking that post on in 2020, which, if you can think back, is probably when our unprecedented times really started, and have not stopped in the last 5 years. Ambassador Hillman's quiet diplomacy and steady hand really, I think, reassured not only Canadians on this side of the border, but I think really built those long-lasting, strong relationships in the United States that, we don't always see every day in the news, and we often feel like that might not be the case. But I think that you don't have this relationship with the United States that lasts as long as it does without incredible people representing Canada in Washington like Ambassador Hillman. Of course, there's numerous accomplishments that she's had, from negotiating CUSMA 1 to negotiating CPTPP. It's a lot of letters, but another trade agreement that we had. And I think that she'll be well remembered and well recognized for that diplomacy long after her departure.
Mel, you're up. Put a bow on yours.
Well, every year that we do a segment like this, I usually pick a conservative politician. But this year, the Christmas spirit has gotten to me, and I'm extending my gift across the floor to Premier Kinew. We obviously don't agree on everything, but his willingness to govern and not posture this year has really been quite impressive. He's increasingly tough on crime and most recently cracking down on drug trafficking in the province. He also seems to be putting public safety on the table and has been pressuring Ottawa on bail reform alongside Premier Ford. He's also been a proven ally to Ford, both on major projects and supporting his ad campaign in the United States. When Ford came under pressure, Premier Kinew was in his corner. And finally, on the Port of Churchill, that project that he's pushing to advance through major projects is going to require an enormous amount of infrastructure investment. And if he's successful in executing on that, it's going to mean generational economic change for the province of Manitoba. And so for all those reasons, he gets my gift this year.
And Carl, I apologize for calling you a Grinch when you're clearly more of a Griswold.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know, because you nearly choked on your eggnog there, and I apologize.
Yeah, it's the quality of it.
But who gets your gift?
It's California Governor Gavin Newsom. I don't think there's a politician more fun to watch this year than Gavin Newsom. The guy is taking strong stance against Donald Trump. He's fighting back against Donald Trump. He's making fun of Donald Trump, using his tactics. I mean, his social accounts hilarious, just using the same kind of rhetoric, but from the left side of the spectrum. And also on the policy front, fighting back, really fighting back and putting it in. So, I'm not saying he's the best governor in the history of California. I'm not saying that, but that's what I heard.
Sorry,
that's what they say.
Sorry, I don't know if this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger imitation.
This is my
or
problem.
A Donald
If
Trump.
my Austrian comes out.
Yeah, okay. So, sorry. I just need everybody to understand for a moment. That does not have any alcohol in it. Again, I've watched it being poured, whichever camera we're on here, I watched it being poured. There is no alcohol in there. He's just bad at imitations,
Listen,
I think. Okay,
it's
go ahead.
not what I heard.
Sorry.
It's not what I say.
Yeah.
It's what they say.
Oh, my gosh.
Gavin Newsom.
Rachel, save us, Rachel, please.
Okay, so Justin Trudeau is getting my gift this year for resigning and doing it when he did. At the time, I think there's a lot of discourse over the holidays last year, wondering, like, will he, won't he, preparing our political look-backs and such. And at the time, the thought was, well, if he does it now, it's still too late. Yeah. But clearly, he was just in time. Getting out when he did has shifted his party from being in save the furniture, shuffling chairs on the Titanic deck, situation to now being one seat shy of a majority government. And I think over time, his departure and getting out and giving the Liberals the chance to kind of refresh with Mark Carney potentially could be a playbook the Conservatives could be looking at as an option for them in the year or so ahead, potentially. And obviously, you know, Santa has been looking down kindly on Justin Trudeau for this, because he is now set to have a joyous, pop star-filled holiday season. Yeah. And I love that for him. It's a great post-politics reward, I guess, for the many years of probably a lot of hard work, not so fun, obviously some great moments, but a tough end.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau helping the Liberals to finally win a majority in 2026 is not what anybody thought, I think. Circling back, Sabrina, on Hillman, how much is she going to be missed, and what does her successor need to take from what she's done into this job?
I think that one of the things that I find really remarkable about Ambassador Hillman, especially in contrast to Ambassador Hoekstra, is that she was kind of on the quieter side, right? Like, she's not in the news for making splashy comments or being offensive or pushing the boundaries. She's actually doing the diplomatic work. And I think that that's an important piece to keep in mind for whomever comes next. I think, you know, obviously Mark Wiseman's name has been thrown around a lot, and I think it brings a lot of connections and a lot of ins into the communities and the people and the rooms that Donald Trump is often in, or the other folks around him are in. And I think that that's important to have that network and have those connections. But I think the quiet diplomacy, the steady hand, the behind-the-scenes work is what's really important. I think that's what's going to be most missed about Ambassador Hillman.
Mel, what could other premiers learn from what Premier Kinew is doing going forward, you think?
I actually think that the biggest learning is for the candidates for NDP leadership. At the federal level, whoever becomes the next leader of the federal NDP should be taking some notes from Wab Kinew and his successes, and how he is really focused on affordability, focused on issues that matter to people at their kitchen tables, and talking about those issues, as opposed to some of the things that we've seen the NDP pushing for over the past year. I think that the opportunity for the next federal leader of the NDP to learn things from Wab Kinew is the biggest in 2026.
Carl, if you can refrain from any imitation and impression, I would really appreciate this. But do you think Gavin Newsom in 2026 is going to be starting to lay that groundwork for the presidential run?
I think he will certainly consider it, and I think a lot of people will ask him to do so. And I think that's good news for Canada, because I think he's a great ally to Canada. He's been throughout this commercial dispute with the Trump administration. And so a lot of people are looking forward to that. Now, are his tactics replicating Trump going to help him or hurt him? I don't know. But it's sure fun to watch. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Because that's how he ends all of his tweets now, which is hilarious and insane at the same time. It's hard to sort of go back to Justin Trudeau and ask, like, what's going to come, you know, what comes of this. But to the point that you made, Rachel, on how, like, his stepping away really sort of did pave the way for the Liberals to try and sort of, you know, reform themselves. If Poilievre does, and we don't know that he will, but do you think a pivot moment is in the future for the Conservatives, given where they are right now? And I know there's a lot of questions as to whether or not Poilievre can pivot, but how important is that and that kind of lesson for the Conservatives in 2026?
I definitely think there will be pivot opportunities. And even what we saw with the early rollout of Mark Carney, it wasn't the version of Mark Carney we saw near the tail end of the campaign and into the early part of his time as Prime Minister. Like, it was a bit of a shaky start. So it is possible for the Conservatives, if they want to take a page out of Justin Trudeau's playbook and go that route of bringing in some fresh face, arguably from outside of the party currently, they would be able to do so. But I do think it's going to hinge on a few things. One, are there more floor crossers? Obviously, that will weaken Poilievre's leadership positioning. Two, what percentage does he get in his leadership review? Three, what goes on with the Trump administration, CUSMA renegotiations? What does that shape up to be? Is there another argument that the Conservatives can latch on to try to re-win the argument that Mark Carney's lost his elbows? Is there a new sentiment there? So it's going to be a fascinating dynamic to watch heading into next year. But I do think it'll be interesting to see the way the Conservatives go, and if it is a moment where they think that Poilievre can double down and get it back. You know, it's too early to say. But yeah, it's I didn't perceive the way it has gone with Mark Carney turning around quite quickly the way it did. So obviously, if 2025 taught us anything about politics, anything can happen. Be prepared for a lot of surprises.
Yeah, and certainly don't count your lead pool before it's hatched. Thank you so much for our Friday front bench. There they are, Sabrina Grover, Melanie Paradis, Carl Boulanger, and Rachel Aiello. Special thank you to you guys. You come out every Friday. It's always a blast for me. I hope you're enjoying it as much. And we'll see you all in 2026. Really appreciate it.